What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the NeverLag podcast, the NLGP. You like that, guys? I'm going to save a lot of time with that one right there.
Can you tell me what that means again?
No.
Tell me what that means
Look
to
it up.
me.
Google it.
Yeah.
We're here to talk about video games. A little bit late. We're going to talk about everything that we played in June, which is forever ago. Now, at this point, we have to recall all the way back to June. And all of the industry things that have happened.
Not much.
Which might leak their way into this episode as well.
Yeah,
so
nothing's
plenty to
happened
catch up
since then.
on and hang out. And if you're here to join us, then it's good to have you.
Good to have you on the NLGP.
On the
And
old NLGP.
today's sponsor is NLGP1, which is a experimental weight loss drug.
Is it really? It probably is. To be honest.
NLGLP1.
I should look things up before I start throwing acronyms around. Who knows what that means?
Yeah. No, I'm just trying to play off GLP. It didn't quite work.
Maybe we could get a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Maybe
There's
it's
a
our
lot
first
of money
sponsor.
in
Yeah.
questionable
In questionable
stuff.
endeavors. I agree. Well, anyways, I haven't even introduced everybody. I'm joined, as always, by the man who fell in the pit and storm blessed himself, Calvin and Zach, in the opposite order. Flip those. How you guys doing?
Great. Yeah, nothing bad's happening in the video game industry, which is great. Nothing bad's happening in the world. There's no diarrhea explosive outbreaks from Taco Bell, my favorite chain restaurant. The whole world isn't on fire, and the air quality is like smoking a pack of cigarettes every 6 hours. It's good.
That's a great summization, I think.
Yeah,
like anti-Semization. You know what's funny?
Yeah.
The other day I went to Taco Bell, and there was, again, I'm very loosely aware of the world. I don't pay much attention. And I was like, oh, there's an outbreak. You know, is it monkeys? Is it COVID-2? What's happening? I don't know. And then I saw something about lettuce, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
why is it always lettuce? And then I went to Taco Bell, and I didn't get anything with lettuce. Or maybe it was the other order. Maybe I went to Taco Bell, then I found out it was lettuce, and I'm like, oh, I'm good. But I'm like, that's like, what if, that would be crazy. And then later I saw the news about it being Taco Bell. I'm like,
I know.
oh, yeah.
That's always my
That was
worst fear.
close.
They're like,
Close call.
anybody who had the beefy nacho griller, it's like, oh my god.
Oh, my God. In the last 36 hours.
Yeah. In
Just
Colorado.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had
I'm
Taco
surprised
Bell right
anyone was
around
able
that,
to
too.
notice it was Taco Bell, because everyone always blames Taco Bell for that anyways,
You know,
regardless of
they're
whether
not.
they get
I don't think
lettuce,
they're not convinced, because then the thing was that it was Taylor Farms, which apparently has had issues before.
Right. It was
So-
they sourced
but-
their lettuce from.
But now they're saying
Yeah.
now the FDA is saying it wasn't Taylor Farms, and so we're kind of just going around in
Whatever.
circles. But then I heard something where it's like apparently Taylor Farms like gave $1 million to the Trump campaign a few years ago or whatever. So it's like in this day and age, who knows what's real?
See, this is
who
why
knows
I don't
what
pay.
stupid
This is why
capitalist
this is
interests
this
are
is the
funding what.
result. This is where we're heading. I'm going to
Yeah.
pay no attention to anything, because I literally am just
Yes.
like, maybe that's true. I don't know.
Flood the zone. I mean, that is like.
I
part
mean,
of their
maybe
tactic,
maybe
and it
we'll go
works.
back to, like, you know, there's always the, like, either we'll go to like cyberpunk or we'll go to caveman ages. Maybe it'll be both. Maybe there'll be like cyberpunk around us, and everyone will just like tune it out, and we'll just like not even pay attention to it
And we'll be
anymore, because
cave
it'll be
people.
like,
I mean, I think it'll be the class divide. Yeah.
that's true.
in
We'll just
the-
be
we'll
old
be in
people
the
at that point.
slums. Yeah. I think so.
Calvin, are you also good? Have you had Taco Bell recently?
No.
You look like
Don't-
you're okay. So
I don't even know what Taco Bell is.
yeah,
Good.
he lives in the middle of no Hoyers. So
Yeah.
the Taco
2
Bell
hours
lettuce
from your
outbreak
nearest
could not
Taco
reach him. Fortunately for it.
The fires are
What
in
is that?
fact closer to me though. So
Yeah,
that's a
you're
problem.
kind of in the middle of some fires, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything is on
like
fire.
we said, everything's great. Nothing's going wrong. We're going to talk about video games.
yeah.
Man, got to try to think back. Trying to put myself
June
back
hat
into
on?
June. Yeah. Where was I? What was I doing? What was I doing with my life?
What type of person was I in June?
I was
Before
so
the
young and
Taco Bell
naive back then.
cyclospiralis.
What would
whatever
June you
outbreak.
think of July you?
Yeah.
Would you be proud?
Yeah, for sure. I've accomplished a lot in the last 2 weeks.
I love
I don't
just
believe
how,
you.
Yes, definitely.
For sure. Well, I think the best place to start, because June for me was a lot of contemplation on Bungie and Destiny, and we all kind of got together, played some Destiny in June. So maybe we could start there and just kind of commiserate. I don't know, celebrate. I don't really know what the word is. We could just kind of talk about what happened with Destiny, and then also the little bit of the update we played, and just jumping back in, because It was fun. It was fun to be back in it for a minute. I think we got one night out of it. I played a few nights, but
Yeah, I just did one.
it
I mean,
was-
to quote a Pinterest ripoff of Hallmark, "Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened."
yeah.
No, there's some bitterness there, but it was kind of nice jumping back into Destiny for a minute. It is weird. It is like end of an era type thing. Like I remember when Destiny started back in 2014 or 15. I think it was 2014 maybe.
2014. Yeah.
And they
It
gave like
was-
their 10-year roadmap, and I remember thinking,
Yeah.
this is really good, but like how can you even expect a game to live 10 years? And here we are. I mean,
And
it
they
made
did.
it. They surpassed a little
And-
bit their roadmap.
I mean,
It
technically
should
they cheated
it
and made
should
a
have
sequel,
lived
but-
so much longer.
True.
Yeah, I think that's the thing is I look back on it and I'm like, wow, Destiny was alive and kicking for 12 years. But yeah, I
lot
think
of
the
kicking.
sadness is a lot of kicking. I think this and screaming. Yeah. I think the sadness is that it didn't need to be done. It's like
Yeah.
it's like if you said, yeah, WoW got 10 years. World of Warcraft made it 10 years. It's like it's been going 20. You know? Destiny could have kept going. And also I think part of it too is I don't feel like I got 10 years because
True. Same.
as I kind of mentioned in my video, my my monologue of Disney's death.
Destiny.
I say Disney, Destiny.
Yeah.
When they switched to season passes, that to me was kind of the end of Destiny, and I never enjoyed Destiny the same way after that. So I think that was like
Same.
that wasn't long after Destiny 2 started. So,
Yeah. I mean, that was probably 6 years ago. Like,
so,
that was,
I mean,
it was
I
the
feel
late
like
2010s.
I feel like I got about 6 years of Destiny before it really fundamentally changed.
Yeah.
But, anyways, so.
And it's,
Yeah, that
it's
was the
tough because
final-
those fundamental changes kind of did, for me personally, like, ruin's a strong word, but I stopped playing, like, in the late 2010s, and I never really went back to it. And all of the issues that Destiny had made it so hard to get back into it without being nickel and dimed for every tiny piece of content. It
That's
was
the
so
other thing. Yeah.
obtuse. And
The
then,
keys for the dungeons and
Yeah.
you add in the season passes and you add in the Eververse and you add in the expansions, and it's just like every time I went to play, I would buy the new expansion, and then I'd find out, oh, I don't own the one before this, and somehow that's
Yeah.
a problem. Oh, I didn't.
one from 3
I didn't
years
purchase this
ago.
season pass,
Yeah.
and again, as I brought out in the video, like World of Warcraft, I don't see them as the most pro-consumer. Blizzard is not the most pro-consumer company ever, but like it's just kind of a standard business practice for an MMO or an ongoing game that if you come out with a new major content update and people purchase that,
You get everything
before that is included now.
Yes.
Because
And
it's
that makes
old,
the game
it's old
function
content, and
so
it
well.
makes the game function. It makes everyone have access to the world,
Yeah.
and
that's
Destiny
not just
literally never got there.
that's not just pro-consumer in the sense of giving away content. It's pro-consumer in the sense of not having a broken experience. And that's the problem with
Yeah.
Destiny is they have such Bungie has such dollar signs in their eyes about trying to monetize every shrapnel of content to the point where it like fundamentally broke the system. Unless you were constantly playing and buying every bit of stuff, then it would work. And that's kind of
Yeah.
the inherent problem.
It
And so-
facilitates a healthy ecosystem, and they just never did that. And then you add that in with the onboarding experience, which was non-existent. And it's
Yeah.
like, how does anyone come back to this game?
Yeah.
It was literally the definition of coasting to your death, is what they did.
Yeah,
They started milking what player base was left and not trying to bring anyone back or bring anyone new into it.
It's convoluted, like not just to new players trying to get on. It's like even as
Yeah.
former players that played a lot and were pretty familiar
Yeah.
with the game.
Yeah, exactly.
You jump in a year with not playing, and it's like I have no
You're
idea
like,
what I'm
I
doing.
don't know what
and
you want
I'm
me
lost.
to do. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
And I
no
lose
direction,
interest pretty
horrible
quickly.
UI. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was
So I think-
that was my case with this update. Is we jump into the update, which we're going about this in a roundabout way, but June 9th was the quote unquote final content update for Destiny 2. They had a couple patches since, but like basically production and work on Destiny 2 is going away, and June 9th was the final one. And so like millions or hundreds of thousands at least, I think millions of people. What were the concurrent on Steam got as high as like 400,000 or 500,000. So assumedly millions of people jumped back in. Downloaded like what is it, 100? I don't know how many gigs it
150 or
was.
something.
It's no small download size.
Yeah,
So like
it
a
took
lot
a
of
minute.
a lot of support from the player base. And yeah, that was my experience, Calvin. I jumped in to the update being like, let's go. I want to check out, I want to celebrate Destiny. I want to experience everything I've missed since the final shape, which has been like 2 years now, which is wild. And I had a great time. We played the final shape campaign together, and it was amazing. Amazing campaign. Amazing ending to that story arc. I never got to do the raid, but I did do, they kind of were introducing the like mishmash raid thing. I forget what it's called, the Pantheon, where they like mash bosses together each week, and that was a blast because it kind of, I got to jump into different raids I'd never experienced and play different boss fights. Anyways, I haven't played in 2 years. Jumped in and was like, I want to see all this content, and legitimately I could not figure out like what was the new content that June 9th had brought, because it was such a mess of everything.
Yeah.
That to just jump in and see like, all right, what is the current content? What do I do? I had to look up like 3 videos to figure out where to go and what to do, and that's been Destiny's problem for years, man.
Yeah, when I hopped on, I think maybe I was a little earlier than you, and I was trying to just figure it out. And I haven't been paying attention to Destiny in years, so I didn't really know what was going on, but I knew this final update was here, and I just followed the most obvious signposting. It turns out I was on like an old season that I just
I had the same thing happen.
Yeah,
I was following what felt like the most clear thing it's telling me to do, and all of a sudden it's like, this is content from like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, what is
there's no rhyme or reason for what it might be the
so
last thing you were doing when you logged in 2 years ago. It's just wild that and this all leads me back to like my thought process jumping into this and experiencing this on June 9th. Reawakened that thought from, what was it, 3-4 years ago now, when Sony bought Bungie to be their live service gurus, and like, oh, look how successful and good they are at live service, and we all went, no, not really. They have a great IP. They have something that people loved, and they've turned it into a live service that is like grading the player base. That's not even done very well. It's not done in a way that like makes me want to spend any money on the Eververse. It's very poorly done across the board. And so that, I don't know, it's just all a reminder of that, of how poorly managed Destiny 2 was, even from like a business standpoint. Because I'm sure they made tons of money because they had a fan base, but I feel like they could have made so much more money if they actually had intelligent design behind the way that they were monetizing things.
And again, if they had managed it better and not monetized it the way they did, Destiny probably could have just kept going, possibly forever. Kind of like, wow, like it just could have gone forever. So
yeah.
So anyways,
it does certain things better than anything else. So it could have kept going for the foreseeable future at the very least.
Well, nothing else services that. If you want Destiny and you like Destiny, where do you go now? You keep playing Destiny. There's not really anything, and some other games will take their shots, but I don't know if we will get anything like. I think Destiny, much like we're not going to get another WoW, I don't really know that we're going to get
a little bit of lightning in a bottle.
Destiny. Like, I think it was a time and place. No one's willing to devote that much resources to something. Everything is going to become, mark my words, even the AAA industry, as it continues to suffer and all these job losses happen, the next wave of every game is going to be this way is going to be gacha. Even though a lot of the Western devs now, I bet you are going to start making gacha style games that are free to play, and everything is just kind of going to go down that rabbit hole. No one's going to make a Destiny or a WoW anymore. It's going to be free to play character gacha system where it can cater to the whales and people can spend thousands and thousands of dollars if they have it, and everyone else can kind of play the game for free or spend low amounts. And unfortunately, that business model has just proven way too lucrative. So I think Destiny is kind of a thing of the past at this point.
And unfortunately,
the other thing too is Destiny is first person, and I think that in 2014 it was kind of a little bit ahead of that live service everything situation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now I don't think anyone wants to make a first person game because they want to be able to sell skins and cosmetics, and it's hard to do that. It's harder to do that in a first person game. They'd rather you be looking at your character all the time so that you have a reminder of what you have or don't have.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Which
side tangent there.
even Destiny did that anyways. So
I know.
True.
But yeah, I think, and then the economy we're in too, like a lot of people don't have the same spending power they had. I think recent stats are that I think it was like 80% of gaming consumers only buy less than 2 games per year on average. So the majority of people don't have a lot of extra money to put towards games, but a free to play they may pop in here and there for. So it makes the argument, like, it makes sense from a business standpoint. It just sucks because, like, I think it is harder to convince people who don't have a lot of extra spending money, and times are, a McDouble is $17, to convince them, hey, put down the base payment of this game, and then it's a monthly game, and then there's going to be paid content updates. And even though in the long run, I think you get more out of that for games that are actually worth it, it's so much easier to sell a lot of people.
The frog in the boiling pot thing, where you actually get more money from people when you're taking a little bit here and a little bit there.
And the whole whale problem. I hate that we've discovered that, but I've seen that.
Yeah.
It's some of the consumer application, like in tech.
Well, I mean, games like that are not
thing.
designed for the masses. They're designed for the 1%.
Yeah.
And
Who
the
will
unfortunate
pay
part about that is when we kind of live in a we literally live in a system that's designed for the 1%.
We live
because
in a
people
pyramid
have
scheme.
found
legitimately-
people have found out that if you monetize the people that have endless amounts of expendable income, you'll make more than if you appeal to the middle class, which has disappeared at this point. Anyways, I feel like we've really gone into like non-video game speak, but it's just kind of like it's all part of this Destiny thing that I think we've all been bowling on since this happened, and the whole like just catastrophe of Sony through the PS5 era and the live service debacle, and this feels like to say it's the cherry on top is like such an understatement to describe what has happened with Destiny.
Just a big cherry.
Yeah, it's the biggest. It's literally the foundation cherry in the middle. I don't know, but
it's a load bearing. It's a
as
load
they say, a
bearing
load
cherry.
bearing cherry in the middle is what this Destiny
as the saying
situation
goes.
is.
Someone plucked the load bearing cherries off the
The
foundational.
load bearing cherry on top.
pie.
That's why it didn't work. It
That's why it didn't work.
was a disaster, architecturally a disaster.
Yeah,
from the get-go.
So it was interesting playing Destiny again because a lot of the problems came back almost immediately too, where it was like,
I know.
I don't know, I don't want this in the form it's in necessarily,
I know.
Yeah.
but I'm sad it's leaving. It kind of,
I want
this
this,
is-
but I
maybe
need it
this
to
is a-
fundamentally change also. Like,
maybe this is a
It
bad
just-
analogy, but it kind of felt like an ex-girlfriend who you had some really good times with, but it ended really messily, but you still like talk, and then you kind of like, but when you try and get back together, you're like, there's a reason this didn't work, and if you were different, and maybe if I was a little different,
right.
maybe
the
this would
sex
work.
is good, but you hate everything else.
Yeah, but the microtransactions
The
during
raids
The
sex
are
sex in
great,
Destiny is
but
but
great.
everything else.
I'm sorry, but charging me microtransactions right before the climactic moments is a real problem.
That's pretty on point actually, because the sex in Destiny is great. Like, I just want to play the game, the
Yeah,
gameplay is great, and everything else is just like, ooh, this is a toxic relationship, and I hate every
Yeah.
second I'm around you. Like,
Yeah.
it's pretty
kind of
pretty
what it
on
felt
point there. But that's how I felt too, because we jumped in, and we had a fun night. We did. We played. The funny thing is, we didn't really play any new content because we didn't know what to do. So we literally just played control matches. We did like one strike and then a bunch of control matches. But like, it fit like a glove. It felt like, it's just hopping into a control match with the three of us was a complete blast. That's all Destiny needs,
honestly,
man.
firing a weapon in Destiny is always like a dream.
Exactly.
It's always like, this feels so good. Well, I'm back.
And I just wanted
and then
to
you try
like
and do anything else, and it's like,
yeah, I just wanted to jump into Destiny and be like, I'm back. Let's do this.
I know.
And the amount of friction I experienced at every minute I wasn't firing a gun was just like catastrophic to the point where I just like after a few days I was like, all right,
I know.
love
That's
you,
why after
Destiny.
one night I was like,
I'll see you.
I love you, and I'm
guess.
sad you're going, but like this is why. This is a big part of why. Like you need to
Yeah.
change.
I-
I've worked
I
on
watched
myself.
It's
You
not
haven't.
me, it's you.
I watched a video recently about someone trying Destiny for the first time, and it was around the final update, and they were like,
Oh god.
and first time player, and it was interesting watching their experience.
Did they know
as a
that it's free to
brand
play?
But it was really
hopefully they
interesting
didn't buy anything.
watching their experience as a brand new player, and it was so confusing. Like It was confusing.
No idea.
It was.
There's not
it
even
was
like
insane.
there's not even like a starter campaign anymore, is there? There's
There
like no
is.
starter
They
mission.
actually
I don't think. Is there?
apparently they rebooted the original because with Destiny 2, the original mission in Destiny 2 was like the Red War, the Cabal were
Right, which
invading
they
the tower.
removed.
That's gone. That
Yeah.
is no longer exists. So they rebooted the original mission from Destiny 1 to fit into Destiny 2, but it makes no sense in the I don't know. It's
The amount of work they've done to try and retrofit and reuse, but also not keep content around, is probably a lot more work than it would have been to just keep the content and have more content. I obviously don't know the technical stuff, but like the amount of like retro, and I do know when you're trying to like take code and take things out and make things fit, and then narratively with story, I feel like they probably spent so much time and energy on that stupid stuff that they.
Yeah.
Anyway, we don't need to go down that, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's like I said again. I feel like I'm repeating myself because I literally wrote an entire script and like said this all. But like, I would need Destiny 3. I don't want Destiny 3 at all. I would need Destiny to become Destiny. We need a time machine first of all. But
Right.
anyways, hypothetically, Destiny
For a
would need
couple
to
of
just
reasons.
become Destiny. This is the only reason. And then it would need to like let's remove everything. Let's cut everything out of this game. Except like 10 strikes, keep the raids, keep the PvP maps, and then just start making some new strikes and PvP maps and raids for a little bit. And just do that for a little bit.
I mean,
and I'm good.
Yeah.
For the
Like,
most
that's it.
part, Destiny
basics.
1 was mostly
It was amazing.
perfect. All the problems started with Destiny 2. So
And I was so frustrated when Destiny 1 ended, but it also ended so like Destiny 1 ended in such
it
a
ended with
sweet
Taken King,
note.
right?
No, it ended with
there's one after
moments of triumph or no. What was it called? It was like an update. Remember
Oh,
the
no.
like snowy hub area
No, yeah.
and the Siva raid, and then they also did a
Yeah,
bunch
yeah,
of
yeah.
like they reprised all of the raids and had them on rotations. And so it was like a really cool final update to Destiny 1 where you could do all of the new raids made brand new with really cool gear.
Iron.
Like a lot of the
something.
gear had like
Yeah.
way cooler designs to it.
That was a good. That was the.
No.
That was the.
No,
best
it was
area.
Iron something was the final update. I just don't remember exactly.
Anyways, those are good times. Yeah, it was all pre-Eververse. Eververse and Season Passes ruined Destiny 2. We had fun jumping in and playing. I might go back to it throughout the year, although good lord, this year is just like July was ironically the quiet month. August for me, there's so many games in August I'm interested in. We'll see. But I do kind of want to pop in, and I've seen some videos pop up on my feed that are like, here's the top 5 builds to solo all the dungeons in the game. And I'm like, oh, you know what? That would be cool. I don't have to worry about like coordinating anything. I could just get this build going and then kind of Dark Souls my way through this and experience the new dungeon content that I've never played before. And we'll see. Time is the commodity. So
Yeah.
Either way, it was a blast jumping in. Honestly, like
we could run
if
it together and it'll be harder than solo.
I literally had that thought. I was like, it'll be more of a disaster if I bring Calvin in here, but it could be fun. Who knows? Who knows?
I know my Destiny place.
We need Zach to carry us.
Yeah.
Our dungeon third.
The greatest Destiny player.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
the
I
one
guess
who
what I'm
fell in
saying
the
is,
One.
yeah. I'm definitely. It won't be the last time I log into Destiny 2. I'm sure they'll keep it running for a while, and I'll pop in for.
I'll probably
If we
pop
don't-
in here.
If we
and
don't,
there, like,
again, there's no shortage of Night Rain and Sunderfolk and things we need to play. But like, if there's a night where we're just like, you know what, we all kind of just want to play some Control. It's great. It's great to have for that at the very least. So
yeah.
As long as there's
Um,
still good enough queues for matchmaking and all that.
I'm sure there will be because again, there's nothing. I mean, it's not gonna be like it was. It'll be
Yeah.
all sweaty people. It'll be the sweaties, unfortunately, who stuck
Yeah.
around just to
Yeah.
destroy us. Oh, anyways, I'm sad. It made me very sad, actually. Just the whole. It feels like a microcosm of the industry and everything we're experiencing, which we may or may not get into more of. But do you guys have any other closing thoughts on Destiny as a whole, or just our time with it in June?
No, I mean, I
Maybe
think
we
that
said
about
it all.
sums it up. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
R.I.P.
as usual, I forgot to check with you guys and see what all you have. I got my master list here. Let me see.
I
here. I have 2 other games that I played, one of which we all played. So there's that.
I have a whopping 1 game.
I have a couple.
Big fat 1
about.
game.
Are we doing June or July or both?
June. We're still in July, dude.
That's what I thought. It's just the one you're saying we all played. I technically played in July, but I can just talk about it in June.
Yeah, we might just do it in June because
Let's just do it.
Well,
Wait,
yeah, if we don't
I literally put it in my June video. I'm like, wait, is my timeline wrong?
If we don't
you guys
talk
played in
about
June.
our
I
one
put
shared
June.
game,
We
I
did.
got nothing.
Should we just talk about Skate Story? Is that the one we're talking about?
Yeah.
Let's talk about Skate Story.
Hold on. I feel like... All right, let's talk about Skate Story.
Let's do it.
I don't know. I was kind of thinking like I want to end on Skate Story, but then the comedic value was to just say yes. So, plus we just complained for like 30 minutes. So if
let's talk about Skate
anyone
Story.
were ever watching this, maybe we could like alternate because there's really not any complaining to do about Skate Story.
Yeah,
True.
I hate how perfect.
I dare
it
you.
was.
I dare you to try and complain about Skate Story.
It's really boring. The music sucks. The art style's
Now we're just-
terrible.
Now we're just
Season
rage
passes.
baiting. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna get started on it, but Skate Story was amazing.
Why?
Levi, you were muted somehow. I don't know how that happened, but that we are now
have I been muted? I haven't been muted
No,
long,
it
right?
just
No.
happened a second ago. Like as soon
No.
as I said it, basically.
Oh, weird. I picked up my mouse. Maybe something weird happened.
Maybe you clicked something. That was a very boomer moment
Just
for
to
us.
start with Skate Story, I will say it was on my radar. Actually, I think it only came out last year. I was going to say it was a while ago, but I guess it was just last year. It looked kind of cool. It was just an indie game that came out. Came and went, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I remember Skill Up did a video on it and was like, good game. And I was like, oh, cool. Looks like a good game. Just didn't get to it. It also looked, the art style's cool, but it's also kind of like if you're not really paying attention, I don't know. I feel like it's when you could be
A
like,
little messy, maybe, or
I feel like the art
maybe it
style
doesn't-
is better when you play it than when you just see
I think
some
it's
stills of
when
it.
you're experiencing it, it's perfect. When you see it on a YouTube video for 2 seconds or whatever, you're like, it's kind of one of those
I don't know if it's
low effort or whatever, like just minimalistic art styles. So, anyways, it passed me by. Man, I can't really remember what triggered it for me. I think maybe I was literally going through the PS Plus catalog and I saw it in there, which is crazy to shout that out because, it's taboo to have that right now. We should be canceling that and boycotting that. But I think that's what it was.
Although I think you picked this up right before.
technically, I think it was
that's
before
true.
all
This
that
was
happened.
before I boycotted Sony, so we're
Yeah.
good. And then I kind of was like putting together a skateboard motif because I saw this, and maybe it was also because I started Cuddly Carnage, which I could talk about briefly. But I was like, oh, let me do a bunch of skateboard games, maybe kind of have a theme going. And I started Cuddly Carnage, and I started Skate Story, and then I was like, okay, one of these is clearly a masterpiece, and the other one's like, all right. And then Skate Story sucked me in, and I finished it. I put Calvin onto it while he was up here. It was his next game that consumed him when he visits, because that's kind of a staple.
Always got to be
is
one.
The next Inscription. It's honestly, the bar is getting kind of scary. I don't know if I can have a game like that every time you visit. It's a lot of pressure to put on me to have an Inscription or Skate Story every time you come up here.
To be fair, nothing has lived up to Inscription yet. But
How dare you? How dare you? Really, they're that far. Like, you wouldn't put... It's not even within, like, a... It's not debatable?
no. They're
Ooh, okay.
Man, I need to
they're-
go finish
they're
Inscription
separate.
if that's the case.
Inscription's amazing. Inscription's really good. There's
Maybe
nothing like
I will also say
maybe I should
Inscription
play
is amazing, but I also understand that Inscription also just hit for me in a way that maybe wouldn't fully for everyone. So
Yeah, you lost your sense of direction for a couple days in the basement with the projector and Inscription.
yeah,
Good
it was
times.
great.
But Skate Story is amazing. It's just it's crazy. It's almost depressing that this was made by one person again. You kind of see these games where this guy just made a game and you're like,
Kind of
what the
reminds
heck,
you that
dude?
like, oh,
What the heck?
I could maybe do more with.
I
that.
could maybe be doing amazing things.
Yeah, making art like multimedia art.
Yeah, I almost want to like look up. I should do some research into the making of this game and see if there's anyone who's like any journalism or documentary type stuff that's been done, because this game fascinates me to the point where I would be interested in the making of it and the guy that made it, and like in the way that like I kind of got sucked into the Expedition 33. How did that team come together kind of way? Too. I want to know, like, how did he make this game, and how did he get in touch? Did he know Blood Cultures, the band that made the music for this game? Like, how did that happen? Because
how did that all come together?
Without Blood Cultures, this game is half as good, if not less. Like, the pieces.
This
that
game
are
is a
together,
sum of its parts. It's transcendent because of everything and how it comes together.
Yeah. Without the music makes it infinity better. Like, I'm not even sure I could put a number to it, because without the music this game would not be the same.
And it's one of those things too where, again, I think Zach mentioned this, it's greater than the sum of its parts too, because I have some of the music from the game on like my playlist. I've been listening to it and I love it, but it isn't the same as it is in the game. Listening to it in the game is just, it's magical in a way that each
music
piece
with
independently
what you're
isn't.
Doing and the art and like you traversing like this cosmic skate hell
and
it's like,
and like a moment where you like when a song syncs up perfectly, like when the beat drops right when you do a trick through a doorway and like land a grind, like it's just, it all comes together so well.
Yeah, amazing. So for any who don't know, Skate Story is a skate game. I think the one thing to start out describing it though is that it's very like organic feeling and kind of messy. It doesn't feel like a Tony Hawk. It feels a little wonky to control. Like sometimes you'll have a hard time turning the skateboard or whatever, but like
it's kind of hard to land grinds and it's,
like it's it feels like a weird. It's rather equitable to real life. I feel like where. Yeah. It's kind of hard and messy, but if you land a trick, if you land a grind, it feels really cool. You're like, dang, that was perfect. And then 9 out of 10 times you'll miss it or mess it up or whatever. But I don't know. You guys tell me. I said in my video that like it was messy, but it never felt bad to play. I was never just like, oh, this feels like crap.
I agree. And something else that's kind of cool is I feel like the game strikes a very good balance of kind of messy, a little bit hard to control, maybe a little janky sometimes, but it works and it's satisfying. But it also, that ties in to the story and the theming really well of you being a glass skater and you falling and messing up and breaking and shattering over and over. And so it ties into the narrative really well too, which makes it better. So
yeah, I mean, I think this idea of like, one of the things that's so different about skating video games and real life usually is like in the Tony Hawk games, you fall 40 feet, you roll, and it's kind of like, ugh, and you ragdoll and you get back and you keep going, and it's arcadey and video gaming, whatever. I haven't actually like done any skating since I was a teenager because I'm in my 30s, and if I mess up, it would probably kill me at this point. Like there was kind of this like poetic feeling of like, as humans, we are like glass skaters.
Glass
like
skater.
We can't take very much, like, before shattering. But we also can get back up and keep trying things. So there's this kind of cycle of we are inherently fragile, and that's beautiful. The way you're displayed is like this, like the way all the glass looks and everything. But at the same time, you pull yourself back together and then you go again. And so it gives you a feeling of fragility that no other skating game has ever given me that felt more like real life. Like I remember trying to go down a half pipe as a teenager and how terrifying it was. Or
Dude,
the feeling
I've never
of
tried
messing.
That would be terrifying.
Yeah, it was really scary, and I only did it like twice, and I did not succeed really.
You start to realize I've looked over the edge of one and been like, you realize that, oh, I have to be briefly perpendicular to the ground to make this work. Like,
like,
you can't stand upright and go down this.
No, you can't. You have to put your face forward into gravity, like you're gonna fall on your face.
You don't really think about it till you're looking at it and you're like, oh, that. Like you think, oh, I can just go up a half pipe. No, it's kind of terrifying actually.
Yeah. So there's that feeling that I haven't had in a long time, but that I remember, like that fear of like how fragile you actually are. This game captures that, while still like giving you the feeling of I can run again and try and get better. And so I think it much
more
more
restart,
quick restart, which is nice. So it's not inherently, it's not too like obtuse or anything, but But it's enough that it gives you a satisfaction when you pull off a string of moves and you manage to handle it appropriately. And then thematically with kind of you're going through the levels of hell as this glass skater trying to transcend or escape in some way. There's something kind of poetic about that hits too, but
gotta eat those moves.
I think my favorite part about I kind of have two thoughts here, but like the first one is, for me, games, the two most important things to me personally for a game are the gameplay and the vibes. And when those two things can both hit and be like 10 out of 10 peak, I mean, that's a game that's really going to impact me, and that's what Skate Story was able to do. Like, this game, if I were to describe what matters most to it, it's the vibes. The vibes of this game are immaculate. Just like I sent you guys a video before you guys had jumped into it of me just standing there listening to the music, crazy like chomp chomp from Mario rolling by. Just the vibes are here, but the gameplay I actually really found engaging, and by the end of it, even though it feels very messy and like almost unintelligible, like I can't think of a good term for it, by the end of the game I saw the skill ceiling grow. Like I was doing cool stuff and doing stuff that felt really satisfying and looked really cool, and I'm like, part of me wanted to go back and replay and do some of the segments and like get a really good run. And even because just like, you know, some of my runs get all jacked up or you crash, and it's like I want to perfect a run to this music, this track that I love. So the gameplay was there too.
Yeah, and you just like we were saying, it's a little hard to land a grind, and like when it first teaches you to grind, it's like it again feels a little obtuse and all that, but kind of by the end of the game, it's like you just get the intuition for it, and you can just kind of land grinds much easier, and it's more rewarding because it is still hard.
It doesn't like,
and it's pretty fair.
It's
pretty fair, even though it's messy and you're made to kind of feel how difficult it is. It is fair, like, and that's why by the end you get better at it. The skill ceiling is there, and you learn how to like string together tricks and get your score up and not smash into everything. And
I do think maybe my only critique of the game, and it's nitpicky, it's minor, but it's the fact that because it's kind of hard and you crash a lot, there are segments where, you know, maybe some of the tunnel segments where you're just going forever for a while, they can be kind of tricky, and you're crashing a lot and you're falling a lot, and it can kind of contrast maybe the flow state vibes that it's going for when you're just like constantly resetting. Again, nitpicky.
But I also really liked those segments for like, they really nailed the feeling of going fast on a skateboard through like a tunnel section.
You
like
feel
it is
the low kind of camera angle
and the adjustments. The adjustments are so minimal. Like, to not hit a wall, like you're really trying to ride that line between staying in the middle of this path. And yeah, like you said, the camera goes a long way to doing that, because he put the camera low enough that you feel a sense of speed when you're going through this. Again, this is not an arcade trick skateboarding game. This is a flow skateboarding game. So where he put the camera was really smart design, because you really do feel those linear sections where you get your speed up. You feel that sense of speed, which adds a lot to the intensity and almost like the not the risk, the stakes, I guess. You know, like there's no real stakes in this game, but in those moments you kind of feel you clinch up a little bit. You're like really trying to not hit the wall or whatever. So
it kind of mimics that real life feeling of when you're going a little bit too fast, and you can kind of feel that, like, if I don't course, like if I overcorrect or something, like this could actually be bad. It gives you a little bit of that thrill and that feeling.
Which I actually have real life correlation to that, because recently I started. My gym is like 3 minutes away by. We have a longboard, and so I started longboarding to the gym. And it's a blast, but on the way back, it's a lot more downhill. And one day I just was like really, really going after it. And, you know, there's this part in the parking lot where it kind of comes up and then heads back down to where we live. And by the time I was coming down to where we live, I was kind of hauling butt. And I was like, I need to stop. And I actually don't know how to stop very quickly without just like jumping off the board. You know, it's just kind of like that moment of panic where you're like, oh shoot, there's no brakes on this thing.
Yeah.
And the game really does capture that. So he did a great job. I remember seeing something, I think it might have been SkillUp's review, just about how he really wanted to capture the actual feeling of skating and not just the arcade versions that we've seen, but more what it feels like in your soul to be skating. And I think he really did that. I'm not sure how you do it better, honestly.
Yeah, it's the best I've ever felt, because I've played the Tony Hawk games off and on my whole life, and they've always been fun, but I almost didn't even realize it until playing Skate Story. That I was like, oh, this kind of tapped into feelings, like I said, that I had as a teenager when I used to skate a little bit.
Yeah.
The Tony Hawk games never tapped into it all. Even though they're skateboarding games, like, they didn't give me those feelings. It was just arcade. Whereas this, like, it gave me some of those feelings of like, oh no, I turned a little too much and I smashed into a wall, or
The other
part I loved. Go ahead, Cal.
I was just gonna say, kind of the story. I don't know about you guys, but in general, the story's a little nonsensical. It's a fever dream. It's doesn't make a lot of sense most of the time, which lends to the vibes, and I love it. But kind of the ending of the story and the final stretch of the story, I was surprised at how some of the moments landed for me and kind of hit. It still was just kind of all nonsensical in what was happening, but there were just like particular like emotional moments that happened that landed, and it's hard to explain why or how, but they did, and they worked, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Like, I think of near the end, like, you're just like sitting in that chair, and it's just like over and over, I hate skateboarding. I hate skateboarding.
Yeah, I
and
thought
just
that was
like
really
cool
cool.
moments like
moment
that just resonated for some reason.
The repetition of that, and the giant words on the screen as I'm playing it, like I'm immersed in a game about skating, and just like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, Cal, because it kind of hit. I feel like you resonate. I don't know, just as a human, if you're there, if you're paying attention to that moment, you resonate in the feeling of hating something that you love.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know?
I'm
And
so
just, like,
sick of this.
screaming
I've
to the
tried this a
universe,
million
I'm so
times.
sick of this.
Yeah. And then you
But
get up and you do it again.
Yeah, that actually did hit, despite the lack of like, verbal or like sensical story. But and kind of that parallel to that, my thought of what I was going to say, the other part of this game that I just really loved was the way that he captured skateboarding accurately. I feel like he captured the feeling of a dream perfectly. Like, every chapter in this game feels like a dream, in that you're just like, oh, I'm doing this now, and it makes sense. That's why obviously I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And it's just, I'm doing the devil's laundry. This guy's trying to give me a ticket because I slept and I don't have a permit, and now I got to go get a permit to take a nap, or like, it's just a dream from start to finish. And it really accurately captures that, of like this crazy long Odyssey skate dream I had that I'm going to forget the second I wake up. Like, he nailed that feeling.
Yeah, but some of the feelings and like images stick with you. So like a crazy dream, you're like, I'm struggling to explain
like,
this.
I don't know what happened, but this
and
is
I can't
what
communicate
I see.
the through line of how it got here. But like, I remember how it felt.
Yeah.
There was a frog and some more milk.
Yeah. There are certain dreams
thing,
I've had that I remember 20 years later, but I can't really describe what happened. But there was a velociraptor in a pink bubble chasing me, or something stupid. That actually, where it's like, I remember this thing or this image, and it does those.
I'm not sure
really
I've ever played a game that captures that so well, and it's all he did it in a way that it doesn't feel like, even though obviously the subject matter is skating through hell or whatever, it doesn't feel like a nightmare. It feels like a dream.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In a way that I want to be in the world. I want to replay the game.
Yeah.
It's not a put off or anything like that. It doesn't put me off to it. So
another thing I was going to say, just kind of again with the story landing more than I expected it to, was in one of the later chapters you go to this banquet dinner or whatever that has been leading up to, and you're like walking towards the stage with like music, piano playing, and like all the characters, the wacky characters you've met along the way are sitting in the audience, and you go up and talk to them, and you're like interacting with them one last time as you're making your way up to the stage, and it was that other moment of like finality that came together more than I thought it would.
Yeah, I like the characters a lot too. I really liked all the different characters.
There's a lot of weird.
I love. Was it Coney? Who was it that had Sean, and Sean? The friends he hated.
Yeah.
And you had to
Yeah.
go knock over the cones named Sean.
I think that was the
Sean, and
cones. Yeah, Sean.
I don't remember his name, but his friends' names were Sean, and Sean.
Sean, and Sean. I love the way they were all spelled differently.
Yeah.
This game just
Yeah.
had the writing was really good. There were
It was
quite a
amusing.
few. There were quite a few. My favorite one that you remember, Cal. You made me like rewind it because I missed it and I was distracted. But I love when he gets a letter or an invitation.
Yeah.
And the rabbit's reading it, and he says something about like the symbol of the devil and it's on fire. I don't remember what he's saying.
Yeah.
And he's like, could it be the IRS?
I wonder who it's from. Maybe the
I wonder who it's
IRS.
from. Hilarious. There's just some good one-liners and
Yeah.
some good humor as well. So
Yeah.
I guess I don't know. I'm out of things. The music though is incredible.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe
they're
end
just-
on the music was so perfectly like synchronized with the gameplay, and that was the moment for me where like you start the game, and fairly early on you go through one of your first sections where like you get into the game, it teaches you some mechanics, and the music's interesting from the start, but then you hit like your first tunnel section
Your
or
door.
where you're
And the beat
skating. You
drops.
go through the door, the beat drops in this one song. And the music swells and kicks in as you're skating and trying not to crash. And I was playing this at like 1 a.m. and I think I messaged you guys and I was like, oh my God, this is
That's
so
the,
good.
that's the second you get it. You play for the
Yeah.
first like half an hour and you're like, oh, this is kind of cool. And then that moment when the
Yeah, and
music
you're like,
kicks in
yeah.
is when you go, oh, this is a special game. Like
Yeah.
this, the feeling the goosebumps I just got, and it does that fairly regularly throughout the game.
Yeah.
Like there's
It
consistent.
just recaptures it
great
over and over
tracks.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's always so good. I think for me, I guess my final thought on this would be that this soundtrack, this album, it's almost weird to call it a soundtrack, but like this album is up there for me on a very short list of soundtracks, like Expedition 33, Hollow Knight. Yeah, like there's just it's top 3, top 5 video
Yeah.
game soundtrack.
It's a really good soundtrack. I
Yeah.
agree. Yeah.
All right,
Good
go play
stuff.
Skate Story. I give it
Yeah.
I give it 10 out of 10 beans.
I give
Um,
it also
NeverLags.
10 out of 10.
Yeah,
Beans?
beans.
10,
or
10
something else?
moons. No, I'm going to do moons.
10
'cause it's Skate
moons.
Story.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Delicious.
That's more moons than is in the game.
Ah,
Yeah.
I know. That's how much I care. How much I vibe with it.
Let me do my quick fire games that I played. I played the demo for Onimusha, which was really cool. I actually really liked it. It was not on my radar, and there was a demo. More games need to do demos because if your game's good, it's gonna work. That's
Yeah.
it's just smart because I didn't care about Onimusha. There was a demo. I downloaded it. I played an hour, and I was like, "Hot dang, that was really
Yeah.
fun." I actually
I wasn't paying
think-
attention either, and now that you've said that, I'm like, oh, maybe I should keep an eye on
Yeah, it really gave me like Sekiro vibes.
Yeah.
Sekiro, but a little bit more actiony, a little bit more going on, a little less technical, but still precise. And I don't know about difficulty, but like it was channeling that, and I was like, oh, I can really get into this. So I had a lot of fun with that. I played, as I mentioned, Gory Cuddly Carnage, which is a crazy bombastic skate game as well. More like you're on like a hoverboard and you're a cat, and it's very like neon colors, Borderlands art style, Borderlands humor, and all of it is kind of obnoxious. You're murdering hordes of unicorn zombies with your skateboard that has like sharp blades on it, and
That's very millennial, like early 2010s.
it is. It really is.
humor.
It's channeling the early 2000s.
What
It's
was it, like
obnoxious.
Happy
It's-
Tree Friends or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very like gory. Obviously, it's just that juxtaposition of like a cartoon skateboard, and then there's just zombie unicorn blood everywhere. But it's kind of, I said it's obnoxious, but it's also kind of charming. It's trying to be obnoxious. But I did, after a few hours, I kind of was like, we're at that point where there's so many amazing games to play that in 2005 I would have played the heck out of this game.
Well, also,
in
wasn't
2026.
it directly competing with Skate Story? Time-wise?
Sure, but like everything's directly competing with everything right now when there's not enough time to play everything. It doesn't matter that I was playing Skate Story next to it. I think it was inevitable. I just kind of played 3 to 5 hours and was like, I don't know if I want to stick around for 12 or whatever it would be when I need to play X, Y, or Z, and I know I'm going to like it more. If I were dropped into a bubble of infinite time and could just sit down and play everything, then yeah, I'd probably play this game. It was kind of fun. So, what was the other one? Oh, the other one was just Wuthering Waves, which actually is really good. Good month of Wuthering Waves. Dude, I'm gonna have a hard time at the end of the year
the
with
month
the top
of the
10 and trying to weigh
Cyberpunk?
Wuthering Waves. Yeah, this was the 3.4 Cyberpunk update, which I didn't really have any connection to because it's from the Edge Runners anime. But lots of hype, very success. I'm sure they made gobs and gobs of money. But the two characters
Oodles,
are really
you
cool,
might
and
say?
I know that oodles. No, I would say gobs, and gobs, and I know that the moon is like a big thing in the anime or whatever. But like the moon, there's like a little location you go to, and it's literally the moon, and it was really dope looking.
Cool.
And it was a really high quality. I mean, if you watch the video, the little cutscene clip that I put in there at the end is so sick. Like that's just kind of a microcosm of the quality they put into these things.
Mm-hmm.
That looks like it's from a show or an anime.
Cool.
So a lot of fun with that. I'm actually having more fun with this update, which we'll talk about in July. But they are making an anime now too. They announced it yesterday, I think. Which
Oh,
that
Wuthering
I'm kind of
Waves?
like, yeah, that I'm kind of like, okay, maybe
Interesting.
I'm into
That might be your
'cause-
entry point.
That's what gets you
yeah,
into
maybe,
anime.
Maybe.
Yeah.
'Cause it depends on how anime it is, I guess. I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I
What they
guess.
do in game, I love. So if it's similar to that, we'll see. But yeah, those are the little bits that I played, and then the last one for me. You have one more, Zach?
2.
Two more?
But one of them's quick.
Did you play 007 in June?
No, I played that in May.
Oh,
Did we talk-
well,
did
let's
we
just
talk
talk about it
about
real quick. I
007?
want to get it done because I don't want to talk about it.
I forgot
hated
about
that game.
007.
I hated that stupid game. Screw 007, man.
It was
dude,
good.
dude, I was looking at Fantasy Critic yesterday. 007 First Light has a full point higher than Saros.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's
What
not
are
better
we
than Saros.
doing?
Yeah.
That's insane.
That is crazy. So
Oh.
I guess
I
I'll,
think Saros
I'll
should have been a 90.
I guess
personally.
I'll say something because normally I wouldn't say anything. I haven't even played 007. But
Whoa.
I like it when you don't say anything.
I do a lot of that usually. But I haven't even played 007, but I kind of heard Levi's critiques and I was getting a little more hesitant, but I was still interested. Anyways, last time I was over hanging out with you, Levi, you showed me your videos from the game, like just screenshots, videos, mostly videos.
Raw videos,
yeah,
undoctored by me.
on a
They're
PS5
not
Pro.
doctored.
You know, I only have a base PS5, but yours
There's
you
no
played
propaganda.
it on a Pro. But I was shocked, actually. Like, I wanted to see if Levi was just being a little bit of too much of a hater, but like just unbiased coming in, watching some of his clips of the quality of the game and the way it looked. I was shocked. I was like, that looks like PS3. It looks actually bad. I that was my raw opinion coming in with no bias.
And there are moments for all two of you watching this out there. There are moments that look really good.
And I
But,
will
like,
say,
there are
I was gonna
a
say-
lot of- there are
I
a
will
lot
say,
of moments that look
I
really
know
bad.
I was watching the videos that Levi specifically took because they
looked
stood out as bad.
Yeah.
But they
So
were there,
obviously
and
I'm
there were
looking
a
at
lot.
They
that.
were there.
But
Yeah.
the bad things that he like took videos of were shocking. They did not look like even remotely current gen. So that was my raw opinion coming in without having played the game. Which it's wild to me that people are like unequivocally praising even how it looks. It's weird.
So I've been hating pretty hard on 007, and I'll say maybe my piece here in a minute. But Zach, I mean, you pretty much enjoyed it, right? Would you give it
Yeah, I really
an
liked
8
it.
or a?
Yeah, I would give it probably an 8. I went back and forth when there are parts of it that are definitely in the 9 territory, but the problem is there are some parts of it that are bad. So it's kind of one of those things where it's like it's hard to figure out how to like equalize those scores, and I think this is something reviewers run into. The emotional feeling after I finish it was that I loved the story. They captured James Bond so well. It was a great James
Yeah,
Bond
I liked Bond
story.
a lot.
And this is something that I think we disagree on a little bit, is that even though some of the gameplay elements were not as good as I wish they were, or were a little dated in some ways, the sum of those parts still did enough to immerse me in feeling like Bond more so than just watching a movie. to where I did enjoy the full experience. And I think there were times throughout the game that I had some fun with the mechanics, even though there were also times that they were monotonous.
Would you
or a
say
little
by
bit-
and large you enjoyed playing the game?
Um,
Or did you like everything else enough that even though you didn't really enjoy playing the game?
I would say. Well, it went quiet.
Yeah, I did.
Calvin's
Calvin
muted,
muted.
that's why.
Calvin's all the white noise on our
He did that.
entire-
He did that so that it wouldn't draw any attention, and the lack of white noise was just so
It's
loud.
it's like there was an airplane this whole time and then it was no longer there.
Well, I do wonder. I have a mini split in my room that I was just turning
Oh.
off. That might have been what it
Yeah.
is.
I didn't notice it until you turned it off. But you're all good. Anyway, I would say I mostly enjoyed the mechanics, but like on a scale of enjoyment, it was like decent. Like I didn't love play the mechanics for the
Okay.
most part, but
Which I think
don't
tends
think
to
I
be our
disliked-
difference is that you can tolerate
Yeah,
more boring formulaic gameplay.
if
more
everything
than I
else
can.
is pulling its weight better.
Yeah.
It was to the
You
point
have
where like
lower
I was
standards.
sure yeah I was relatively
Lower
enjoying
standards
it.
means happier.
Yeah, that's true. I was relatively enjoying it, and I think there was enough different things that I didn't like. It would kind of rotate between things enough that it was like, okay, now I'm trying to sneak around someone, or now I'm doing like some combat. I definitely have complaints. Like I will say, I really wish your gadgets were better. Like I feel like the gadgets are kind of basic, and I liked what the spirit of what they were going for, but I feel like they really didn't fully accomplish it. They just kind of it's like
did
you
you
got the
feel
flavor.
intrigued to really experiment or try any of the different things you could add to your watch? I really didn't.
I did a little. Yeah.
They just funneled everything into your watch, and it's just you push a button, you make that person sick. You push a button, and I was just
yeah,
like,
I did
know.
experiment with them, but I found that I didn't love the mechanics of the various things very much.
Yeah,
There were times. It's weird because like I didn't like the way those mechanics played out in general. There were moments I had where I got someone sick and they like went around a corner and I snuck past and it felt like I was doing the spy thing, but it's kind of like that didn't always work the way it should. Sometimes it like got in the way, or the other issue sometimes it's too easy. Like
yeah,
you
that
can
was my
shoot a
biggest
dart
problem
and someone
with it,
gets
is that
sick.
it
and
was so
could just-
binary.
you can walk
There
right
was
in front
like
of them.
there was no depth put into their reaction. Literally, if you stick someone with a dart that makes them sick, as soon as you hit them, you can walk right by them, and they will not.
and they can clearly see you. Yeah. So
Yeah,
there's
but because now their animation has triggered to, oh, I'm sick, I have to go do something else. And there was just so many things like that in this game that were just not immersive. They were very formulaic. Like
Those things
just
took
do
me
this,
out.
and then you can pass the person.
And that's where it felt like dated. Is like, I feel like we could have smarter AI than that. However, I think what was interesting is there were times where it was more happenstance, that the way I used the gadget and the way they were positioned made it feel like it was working as intended. So it's almost like that's not a fair assessment of the
Yeah.
mechanics. It just, my point is that I think some of the building blocks and then the story and environments and James Bond being so charismatic did come together in a way where it did feel like I was playing as James Bond enough that it was pretty fun. And I think I would give it an 8 out of 10. And it's a shame because like if they had done some of those things better, and the combat too is not great. I wish like the hand-to-hand combat was pretty fun, I think, but the gunplay was not very good. I wish the gunplay was better. I think if they had done some of those things,
I had
like
to take the jingle bells off
Interesting.
my dog.
if they had done some of those things better, I think this really.
I actually
really
agree with you.
upped the
I
ante.
found the best gameplay in this game to be the melee combat,
Yeah, that
which
was
is
pretty,
not really what you want from a Bond game.
it's not the
You
only
kind of
thing
want to
you
avoid that, but I found it to be the
don't know,
most
Bond
engaging
gets
because
into
I actually
fist
liked.
fights.
Wasn't there like a mechanic where you could almost like wasn't there like a Sifu mechanic where you could almost like sweep their feet or do something if they're
Yeah, there were a variety
there
of
was
mechanics.
there
where
was
you could,
one
like-
button input that I was
Zach
like, oh, you
hasn't
kind of
played
pulled this from
Sifu.
Sifu.
I haven't played
Oh,
Sifu,
shoot.
but
There was one mechanic where I was like, oh, you guys kind of copied the Sifu's homework here, and that's cool.
yeah.
But again, in a Bond game, you're like,
I don't know. James Bond gets into fist fights. Like I feel like
but his
he's-
goal is to not to, though. Like,
I mean, his
my point
goal
is,
really
if
is
that's
to not
the best
shoot.
gameplay.
Yeah,
I don't want to
That-
go into everything and be like, all right, put him
wanna
up.
brawl for
like,
everything.
that's not
Fisticuffs.
my James
Yeah.
Bond fantasy.
that's why I really wanted his gadgets and like problem solving to be better, and I'm really disappointed that it wasn't.
Yeah, I feel
That's
like
my
I feel like they
biggest issue with it.
overcorrected and watered down to appeal to the mass market of 007. and I would have preferred that they kind of just
Leaned
slap
into-
just kind of slap the IP on Hitman. I wanted to experience the depth I always hear about from Hitman, and I did not.
That's what I
absolutely
wanted
did not
to.
hear.
Yeah, but we can go off of it from here because I agree with your criticisms, and I do think critically this reviewed better than it probably should have. Not just because of some
And
of the.
why is
some
that?
of the-
Is it IP? I always
Probably.
wonder. Is it
Yeah, I
really
think
just
it's-
IP? People are like 007? Because to
I think
me,
people
that
love
almost makes me
007.
more critical of something. It's weird to me when the industry
doesn't live up
overcorrects
to
the
it.
other way,
I don't know.
and they're
Yeah.
like gloss over its faults. That's
I don't
strange
know.
to me.
It's so hard to say. I also think it's one of those things where sometimes a really good story with like good performances and writing and like a charismatic lead, I think
Yeah.
can also gloss over for a lot of people because that definitely helped me. But I also think some people like overlook those things because they're like, "Oh, Bond is so good in this. The story's really good," which
Yeah.
I agree with those things. Like I think the story in this is a 9 out of 10 for like a Bond. Like I
would
think this
agree-
would be one
agree
of the
with that.
better
I actually
Bond
really
movies.
like the story. I said in my
The
video, I
stuff
think
that-
this would have made a great movie. I think it
the
would have
stuff
been
that-
like my second favorite Bond movie under Casino Royale if it were a
Yeah,
movie.
this would have been one of my favorites. But there were moments that I liked playing and experience it as a game. It's just a lot of the gameplay elements
Yeah.
suffered, and so it's one of those things where it's frustrating because you could see how much better it could have been. That being said, there were some great locations and some cool set pieces. The story itself was really good. Bond was great. Some of the supporting cast was all pretty good. They do some stuff with AI, and I think they do a good job of making a modern day AI story.
Kind of a
that
new
doesn't-
take too.
a new take that doesn't fully just do all the
Doesn't feel
same
rote.
tropes, but also fits like a good climactic moment. So I really liked it. However, it has some big flaws, and unfortunately, a variety of core gameplay elements are some of those flaws. And there are times when there's certain assets or times when it looks bad, which also sucks. So
Dude,
it's
seriously,
kinda
have
like-
you looked at a comparison video of it and Uncharted 4?
Yeah,
No,
again
You
to
should.
to
I haven't seen Uncharted 4 in a long
to
time.
talk about just the visuals of it because it's the only thing I've seen really. While I was there with you, Levi, you had videos of moments in 007, and I literally
Yeah,
pulled
you
up
pulled
my
up some Uncharted
videos
4.
and screenshots of Uncharted 4. I guarantee you, if in a vacuum without context, someone who didn't know these games, and you just showed them these two games side by side, and you're like, which one came out in 2018, which one came out in 2026? Everyone on Earth would swap them. It's just such a clear
Based on
difference.
the videos I showed you, like I said, there are
Yeah.
parts of 007 that look modern, but all of it should look like that. So,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, for me, and just to put some words to what I'm criticizing visually, the pop-in was really bad. The dynamic resolution was terrible to hold 60 FPS. There were a lot of times where textures and assets would look like they didn't have textures, or the resolution would drop way down. Just optimization things. I have a video of a cutscene where it's going from cutscene to gameplay and focusing on Bond in like the desert area, and his shirt like pops in and out like 3 times as it's loading in the thing. Just tons of immersion breaking stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then the end of the day for me, what it comes down to, because I can overlook any singular issue or whatever, is just that I didn't have fun playing the game. There was like one moment toward the end where there's this cool mechanic where you're controlling a giant metal ball that was kind of fun with your watch.
That was fun.
Outside of that, I was literally constantly just trying to get to the next story beat because there was nothing compelling to me happening in the environment. I didn't feel like I was detective James Bonding anything. I felt like I was just kind of
It
trying
sounds
to
like
get to the next
was
thing,
was
so.
was there to you? Is there like no incentive for any exploration or looking around really?
They try. I think depending on who you ask, some people would say absolutely there is, but for me, no. It felt like the times that I truly did try to explore, there are 2 in particular I did try to explore, and I found this area, and I'm like, what do I do? I went through some effort to get here, and there was kind of nothing, and then the game kind of spun me in a circle, and I found out, it's going to direct me there later on. And I was just like, well, that makes it less interesting to explore these environments when it's
feel like
clear
you're
there
doing
are
it out of
certain
order.
areas that are meant for a different story beat. And so if this is an open area, it's much better for me to just follow your objective marker then, because then I don't risk wasting my time. and that's kind of what I ended up doing for me personally. I don't know, Zach, did you feel like there was exploration? They go through effort to give what to me felt like the illusion of choice and exploration, but I never really felt like any of it was compelling to me.
Yeah, I would say I played this. It felt more linear, and I liked approaching it that way. And there were times where like I felt like I was exploring and trying to figure stuff out, but it felt like it wanted you to do it a certain way, and I kind of just approached it in a linear sense. And I think it would have been, there were one or two times where I had something similar happen where I was trying to figure something out and I kind of got ahead of it and accidentally solved it a different way, and it kind of it's like it threw off their story beat a little bit, and it wasn't the end of the world, but like I think it would have been better suited that they'd either thought through the open area stuff more, and some of that was also related to how the mechanics worked, or if they had just made it like just lean into the linearity of it, because it's like a narrative driven game. Like I think there's things you can do with it being linear where you can still have those feeling of like spy moments. So yeah. I would agree with some of that stuff. Ultimately, I think it's good to have some dissenting opinions because this was so universally praised, and I think it has some fairly large issues. And like me giving it an 8 out of 10, it's one of those things where like there are some aspects of the game that are 9 out of 10, and there are some aspects that are like a 6 out of 10, and so that kind of makes it tough because it's like, yeah, maybe this should be a 7.5 or something. But like my overall experience is that I liked it. I had fun with it. It's James Bond, so yeah.
For me personally, my score of it would be a 6 out of 10. But if I were trying to review this just as like I'm reviewing this game for everyone, I would give it a 7 out of 10. I think it has merit. I think it wasn't for me in some particular ways that matter a lot. So for me, it's a 6 out of 10, but I think for everyone, it's probably about a 7 out of 10. And then obviously for the entire world, it's a 9 out of 10 for some reason. So
yeah, I don't think it's a 9 out of 10. I will say,
it's because it's on your Fantasy Critic, man. I don't know what's going on this year. There's something in the water over there at I'd counterpick Silksong. It's just
it's because I counterpicked Silksong.
Apparently, man, that ain't coming out
such
this year.
a funny name.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's really I'm ruining it. I'm ruining the name I gave.
I know Levi picked that name for me, and it's like this poetic justice.
I hope it comes out this year. It's gonna be so funny if he counterpicks Silksong twice and it gets him both times. But no, it's gonna even out.
Yeah, so I would say with 007, if you love 007 and you really like narrative stuff in games, and that can like overlook some gameplay mechanics that are weaker, then I think you should play this. If you really, the gameplay is really important and narrative won't save that for you, then this might be.
And there's a lot of people that play games for like heavy for narrative,
which used to be me. I've gotten to the point where gameplay matters to me much more than it used to. But this was one of those games where the narrative was enough and things came together enough that I was okay with it. But the gameplay suffers for sure.
All right. There you have it, 007. What else did you play, Zach? I don't even remember. This is going to be surprise me.
So a quick one. I played the Star Fox remake on Nintendo Switch 2.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
This was a secret playthrough. You didn't even tell me.
Did I not tell you this?
We were talking about, like, will we get it? Won't we get it?
I thought you didn't keep secrets from us.
You never told me.
Well, I mean, I don't, except for the ones that you don't know about.
Crazy.
Like
you spent an entire hour playing through Star Fox.
That's what I was just about to say. Is like, so I grew up playing Star Fox 64 was one of my favorite games when I was like 7, 8, 9. Like I played that and beat it in all the different permutations over and over and over again as a kid. I'm old, so playing Star Fox 6, the remake, it's just that game. So I know all the paths. I know what to do. I literally bought it, sat down, beat it in 30 minutes, like the first path. And then over the course of a week, it's a short game, but there's like a lot of.
No, I know. I just mean I didn't know that. I didn't know this about you. I didn't know you were
about
playing Star Fox as a kid. I never played it, so I have no.
You weren't a Nintendo kid either. Like
no, my Nintendo exposure was good old Jedi Jesse. I would go to Jedi Jesse's house, and I would play.
I don't know that he was a Star Fox person, actually.
No, I don't think he was. He had all the Donkey Kong. I was playing Donkey Kong at his house. Maybe some Mario. I don't remember any Star Fox. So
yeah, I don't think he did that. Anyway, I loved Star Fox growing up, especially 64, and this is just that remade.
I wonder if Jedi Jesse watches us. You think? Is he subscribed?
I would love to think that.
That would be amazing.
Jesse, if you're out there, you know where to find us.
May the Force be with you.
I guess I could.
He probably doesn't,
but
I know where to find him.
Yeah, if his number hasn't changed in the past 3 or 4 years, then I know where to find him.
His home number was one of like 3 numbers I memorized as a kid.
Okay.
You remember? That's how old I am. I had memorized
you're a better friend than I was.
I had to memorize landline phone numbers.
Yeah, I had to do that back in the day. I don't know if I don't think I ever did that with Jesse's number. But him and I hung out a lot. So like
Apparently Jesse was everyone's friend, I guess, huh?
Yeah, I saw him every week.
Did he come steal your gum as well?
Oh yeah, I mean, gum was for everybody, you know. Anyway, we're on a tangent. We're going into lore about our childhood that I'm sure you all care deeply about. But Star Fox remake, it was exactly what you'd expect it to be. It was fun. I think the visuals look pretty good for Nintendo. Like, they're definitely an upgrade from the original. I haven't played the many. They've done a lot of like remasters of Star Fox 64 over the years, and I actually have never played any of them. I've only ever played the N64 one, so it was kind of nice having like a visual fidelity version to play.
You're the reason they keep remaking it. They're like, people still haven't played it. We got to remake it again.
They finally got me, and I will say, if you're going to pick a remastered or remake to play, this is probably the one because it looks the most different. The cutscenes were kind of interesting because they weren't in the original game, and it was kind of fun watching them, but also they're whatever. They don't really matter. I beat it like 3 or 4 of the different permutations, the different paths I always used to do. Then I beat it the way where you get the true ending, which is my favorite. And then after that, it's kind of like, I'm good. Like, I played this. I might pop
Is this a game that you care to play like once a year or no?
Kinda, but you know, I think what probably will happen is this. What happens now is I'll be over at my parents' house where our old N64 is, and me and Ethan will play
the old
Star Fox 64, and that's probably what I'll gravitate towards more.
Really,
However,
still?
having it on my Switch 2 if I'm on the go, this is one of those arcadey games where it is just satisfying. Like, it's a fun game. The levels are cool. It's always satisfying to just do a quick Star Fox run. So I had a good time.
I've heard a
couple hours.
I've heard a lot of discourse about this game, and like, it's just Star Fox 64. It's nostalgia bait. Can this game hold up in 2026 as an on-rail shooter? Can an on-rail shooter hold someone's attention span? And the answer is, below our age, no. But I do think that for our age, and I would say that our age, millennials, we're the ones playing the majority of games. We're not playing one game. We're playing most of the games.
I think
our demographic.
Yeah, probably.
I think an on-rail shooter. I think that apart from the future of gacha, which I've already prognosticated, I think that we need a future of more arcade experiences. I think we need to come back to that, because these half an hour pick up and play, it's kind of the roguelite thing, but I think we're all really sick of roguelites. But just the arcade nature. Think of even Saros, how arcade that game feels to play.
Yeah, I love that about it.
I think Star Fox. I think a brand new Star Fox 64 that's still even on rails could do really well.
I think
personally.
the on rails stuff.
And I haven't played it yet, but I've heard really good things. I mean, do you think that myself, would I hop into Star Fox 64 and play it and be like, man, that was a good time?
Man, I am curious to hear what you think about it. I honestly don't know. I think there is fun to be had with it. I think the on rails is fine. But I do think, even though it's on rails, like, there are some aspects of it that are a bit dated that you can feel, and I think not having the nostalgia. I think you'll walk.
Yeah.
I think you would walk out of this game being like, I had some fun with that. There's a lot I wish could be a little bit better, or a lot better, that like a modern game could maybe do.
But those things could easily be addressed in a new game
one.
that takes the on rails good parts and just modernizes
and so
it a little
for
bit.
what this is, it's intended to be a remake of that game. So, like, obviously that's going to be the case, and I think that's fine. Is an entry point. I think it could pique your interest potentially. I would love for them to like make a brand new on rails arcade shooter Star Fox. Like, I would love if
I think they
Nintendo
will. I think whoever did this remake, I don't know who it was. I think they'll get the chance to make it.
I hope so, because I honestly, that's my biggest complaint is, like, I think approaching it from a more, like, the architecture of the game a little bit more modern could enhance this for, like, modern audiences, millennials included. I also think the other issue I had was price. So this was $50 digital. I bought it physical so that I could share it with people. $60.
I was about to ask you if you had a cartridge.
I do, so you can borrow it from me. But $60.
I didn't know you bought it.
Yeah, I thought I told you.
Secretive, so secretive. Yeah, $60 for this game is crazy. This should be like, if this was not Nintendo, this is a $20 game. Like,
that's what I was just gonna say. This is 20, maybe 30, to play on the nostalgia. Like, it should have been a $20 game. If it had been 30, I still would have been okay. So at 50, I was like, that's crazy. And then I really wanted physical for a variety of reasons. But then it was like 60. Like they're gouging you on.
Yeah,
it.
but did
Like,
you say thank you for the option to buy it physically?
God,
Were you grateful for that option?
no. Which is why
Did
they're
you
gonna
say
take it from
thank
me.
you for letting
So
me spend
they're
$10
gonna
more on this
invalidate
physical
the
cartridge?
They're gonna invalidate the permissions on my Nintendo account so that even though I have the physical cartridge, it won't work or something. Like,
God.
They'll update it and it just like it auto
They'll brick my
ejects every time
Switch.
you put it in.
yeah, they'll just brick my Switch. So anyway, it was fun.
Huh,
If you
okay.
loved Star Fox, it's worth playing. The price is too high, but if you're okay with the price and you really want like a modern looking version of the game you loved, it's pretty
It looks.
much that.
It honestly does look really. The characters notwithstanding, the gameplay I've seen looks pretty stunning. Actually,
Yeah. The voice acting I don't like as much as the original, and it's hard to say. I don't think that's just nostalgia, though. I don't think the voice acting is quite as good. But I will say the music, it's the same music, and they have some like full orchestral versions, whereas the old game was like the old school, I forget the
yeah,
terms.
that's
for
cool.
Which was nice. So I'm glad I played it, and I'll probably play it again here or there, because it's one of those types of games, but probably not quite worth the price.
I'll definitely borrow it from you and try it because I was very curious.
Yeah.
So, Calvin, was this on your radar at all? Like,
Nope.
yeah.
Do you know who
Not
Star Fox is?
Gen Z?
I do at least know that.
Okay, good.
All right. What else? What's your last game?
My last game is The Witcher 3. A little old.
Oh, we're talking about that. Gosh,
You know,
We don't have time for that.
we don't. I won't.
it's like Calvin bringing up Red Dead Redemption at the end of a podcast.
Yeah, there's probably not a ton I need to say about The Witcher other than some high level stuff because
I mean, you got to let people know. Not many people know about this game.
you're right. I'm trying to help the little guys
Spread the
over at
word.
CDPR. The thing about The Witcher is my opinion on it will mostly reflect. If you go look up any videos praising it, I mostly agree with all of that. It's I get why it's a masterpiece. If I had
Incredible
played this,
but slightly dated.
yeah, incredible but slightly dated. Some of the best characters and story I have ever played. Not just story, but the way quests come together, and just the character development, even through all the side quests, and the way you care about so many random secondary characters in the world. They do such a good job with all of that. The world feels so lived in a lot of ways because of all the narrative and character stuff being done so well. I played with the 2023 update or whatever, so the performance was really smooth and it looked pretty good for a 10-year-old
far-
game or 11-year-old game.
All sound like similar praises from Red Dead 2.
Yeah, I'll have to play that and I can compare them.
I mean, they're both heralded as two of the greatest accomplishments in video games probably ever. So
Yeah. And this is one of those things where, like, this would, if I had played this 10 years ago all the way through, it'd probably be in my top 10. Now, because I'm playing it and I feel some of the dated aspects, it's like, there's a good chance this could make my top 20. And it's like, if anybody has this as their favorite game or in their top 10, it makes total sense. It's one of those games. And I think if you can get through some of the dated aspects and you play through it, you will hit plenty of moments where you're like, I see why, I get it. I get why people love this.
Yeah.
The dated aspects, the combat especially, is like, it's generally okay. And there are some things that amplify it a little bit. Like there's, as a Witcher, you take these different potions to augment yourself. And so, like, say you're fighting something that keeps poisoning you, you can, like, brew potions that, like, turn poison into health. So you'll start gaining health when you're poisoned. But you have to unlock certain...
reverse.
You have to, like,
Uno
unlock
reverse
certain
potion.
mutations, and then... But then also, if you take too many potions in a short period of time, it builds up, like, this toxicity in you. So there's, like, a balance there. And then there's, like, a glyph system where you have, like, certain, like, magical abilities. And so there's enough different things going on in combat that it's not, like, totally boring. But there are plenty of times, especially as you get more powerful and depending on what you're fighting, if you're not fighting, like, a harder enemy or a boss or something, it gets a bit hack and slashy, and some of the movements are a bit janky at times. And I could just see there could be a modern version of their combat that could be so good, but this is just like, this feels like a decent combat system from 2015. You know, like, it's okay.
The thing that sucks is it feels like The Witcher 3 just missed the cutoff for being like a modern feeling combat.
Kind of.
Like, there's a lot of games from 2016 that have modern feeling combat.
I know,
like,
2016,
isn't Dark Souls
2017. I think Dark
Like-
Souls 3 is 2017. I think
it's
Bloodborne's 2015 though.
Bloodborne's, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, because
So anyways, yeah, it feels like it just
same
missed
year.
the cutoff and was like one of the last games that feels like it missed the boat on
I think that's
what
part of
could
it.
still feel good in 2026. So
I think that's part of it. I also think it's one of those things where, like, I think CDPR is better at quest design, narrative, character,
Yeah.
All of that's like they're better at that stuff.
Yeah.
They're not like I don't think combat is like fully as much. I haven't played Cyberpunk yet, but based on Witcher, that's kind of my take. But they're masters at the things they do well, and I think the combat's fine. And and I know that's not a fun thing to hear, and a lot of people are like, "Well, I don't want to play it." The overall game is fantastic, and so if you're into that type of thing and you have the time to commit to it, I absolutely recommend it. I also played the Hearts of Stone DLC, which maybe was better than the. I don't. It was so that DLC was only like 15 hours, but for a DLC, pretty long.
Only 15
and
hours.
The quest and the character stuff you get in that was really good. And now I started the Blood and Wine DLC, but I decided to take a little break, and I'm going to come back to that later in the year. And I hear the Blood and Wine's the best.
That's the one
DLCs.
that everyone says
and that
is
one's
better
like,
than.
That's like 40 hours long. And I will say, I got to the new location in Blood and Wine.
It's crazy.
Because Blood and Wine gives you a whole new area in the map.
That's Shadow of
and
the Erd Tree right there.
I will say, the new location in Blood and Wine is the best looking location I've been to in the game. So, Witcher's amazing. And I think it's worth playing in this day and age if it's your type of thing. Because you care so much about combat, and narrative doesn't pull as much weight, and I think some of the vibes of this are just not as much your cup of tea. This might be a hard, because it's so long, it might be a hard game for you to stick with.
I want to understand. I don't know if I ever will. If I do ever play it, it's probably gonna have to be on PC with some mods to maybe help the combat.
Yeah, that could be.
Because I don't think they're gonna remake this in any time frame that's gonna make sense.
Right now they're working on Witcher 4 and a Witcher.
They're doing like 8
remake.
Other things, and none of them are.
And then they
Witcher
have
3
probably
remakes,
more Cyberpunk. Like I think we're probably 10 years away from a Witcher 3 remake. So.
And I still haven't played Cyberpunk, so I just don't know where it fits in. It feels like a Red Dead 2 type of thing, where it's like I should have played this game, but I don't know where it fits in anymore with the amount of good games we have coming out and the amount of games I know I will like that I still need to play.
Yeah,
it's
because there's so
me,
many games, it's hard for me to recommend you drop things to go play this. But I think if you have the time, I think you would get some things out of it. But there's a lot I think you would struggle with in particular. That being said, despite some of those dated aspect and issues, like this is a 10 out of 10 game for me. It's one of those where it's like, yeah, it has flaws, it's dated in some ways, but it's also like the pinnacle of certain things, and like it has such a good mascot. I assume the goal is to finish Blood and Wine before the end of the year. Yeah, or early next year, just before the new DLC comes out. Yeah. Oh gosh, I forgot. That's crazy. Yeah. They don't have a date on that though, right? No, it's just next year. How is that going to work? Are they going to use the same... Like, how do you make a game in 2026 that feels like a DLC to a game that's 12 years old? I mean, I would guess they use the same... 10 years old. Like, same engine, 11. Same, like, you know... So are they going to make it almost like a retro... Like, they're not going to make it look brand new. They're going to make it look like Witcher 3? I honestly don't know. I'm speculating. I have no idea. That's so... No. That is weird. How do they do it? I would assume, I don't know, I guess my assumption would be with the size of these DLCs, and they're kind of like their own bespoke areas, right? Or are they all part of the same map? The first DLC is part of the existing map, but they like flesh out. Blood and Wine, is it its own map? It's its own like area in the map, yeah. It's like a new like, it's you like can't seamlessly go from it to the other, you have to like load into it. Yeah. So I if that's the case, my guess would be it is going to look like a new game. Maybe. But that's honestly, just so weird. Can you imagine? That's so weird. A DLC that looks 10 years newer. I will say, you might be right because I don't think this DLC is coming out on older consoles. It's going to be standalone too, isn't it? Yeah, I think they're not going to make you buy Witcher. I would be shocked if they made you own Witcher 3. They're going to sell this as a standalone. I need to stop saying this because I have no idea. But I'm just like mentally working through what this is going to be, and I would assume it's going to be a standalone DLC to Witcher 3. Yeah. It might have to be because I've heard it's not releasing on the old consoles, so it's only going to be on PS5. Really? Well, then that tells you right there. So that would have to be standalone. This actually fascinates me. We've never seen anything like this. We've never seen a studio make a DLC to a game 10 years later. Like, how does that work? So I mean, the base game came out in 2015. By then, 12, yeah. So 13. 10 years later. Yeah. I think Blood and Wine was like a year or two after, so it'll be 10 plus years from the final DLC. Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see what this is and how it works, and unprecedented. Very weird. Anyway, it's amazing. There's not much more to say. Nice. Well, I guess that's it. That was our June. June for me I think it was my worst month of gaming for me personally, despite the fact that Skate Story was so good.
not loving 007, and then Destiny having fun, but like all of the obvious whining that we did, and like the stirring up and the death of Destiny. June was a bit of a depressing gaming month for me personally, but July has been cooking up pretty good so far. So, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know. We'll talk about it soon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any closing
We'll
thoughts?
see. We'll see how July has been like a really crazy month for me personally, so I'm a little worried. I'm not going to have a ton to talk about, but we'll see.
Yeah, you've
I
been
am
carrying
playing
this for a minute here.
I am playing one game that I really like, and maybe I'll finally finish it, and then we'll probably talk about Assassin's Creed Black Flag for July. But I'll be curious to see if either you or I finish it. So we'll see.
Please look forward to it. Calvin has a lot to say about what he's playing.
Oh, yeah.
We're not going to let him talk about it. We're going to save it.
You better
save
cut
all
me
that
off
energy
before I get
bottled
going.
up.
Yeah.
Cut you off before you get started. We'll be
And
back to
another
talk about
thing.
July.
Just cut. our outro.
That's it. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the next one. Please look forward to it.